Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm a dive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Inspiration Station. This is your place that you go for that audio dojo of mojo. My name is Clay Clark, the former United States Small Business Administration Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear. And as always, I am joined here with the man, the myth, the legend. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
I am fantastic. It's Hump Day, Wednesday.
Oh, Z, I am excited about today's show. I've got 2 reasons I'm pumped up today, Z. 2 reasons.
Okay, one.
One is we have a very incredible special guest who flew up here from Houston to be here. Flew up north from Houston to be here today. It's Miss Myra Shaw. How are you, Myra?
I'm excellent. Excellent.
For everyone who's just listening, can you kind of explain? I met you at the Chevron speaking event down there in Houston, and you were just a radiant beam of light and encouragement. But can you kind of explain to the listeners what it is that you do?
Yeah, and actually, Chevron was my previous employer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you knew that day.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So in Houston, I'm a business coach and a personal development coach specifically for women.
For women?
For women.
Okay, so let's say we have a female listener who's going, okay, well, how can you help me? How can you help the ladies who are listeners?
I really help women move from stuck. So stuck is a place where, there's something you need to do. You're really unsure about it. You're afraid. What if I don't have enough money? What if I don't have enough spousal support? Or I got to wait till my kids get older. All those excuses we make.
Yeah.
So we move you from stuck to execution.
Okay.
We call that execution BAM. It stands for Bust a Move.
Oh, Bust a Move.
Bust a Move.
Yes.
Old school young MC right there.
Exactly.
Oh. All right. Now, let me ask you, if someone wants to find your website or get a hold of you, how can they do that?
They can go to Myra Shaw, that's MIARA, Shaw, SHAW.com.
Okay. Now, Z, reason number 2 that I'm excited is today we're talking about Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie.
AC.
We're breaking down the 8 wealth building super moves that this guy implemented in his life. He wrote a book called The Gospel of Wealth. It's a very small book, but when I read that book as a young man, I just went, oh, wow. Oh, wow. It's such a good book. And so we're going to get into his super moves. We're going to break them down move by move. The Gospel of Wealth by Andrew Carnegie, who, by the way, in today's money, a little fun factoid for you. He started working when he was 13 years old. 13.
Hey, that's when I had my first job.
Really?
Yeah.
And that was when you were washing dishes?
Yeah, daytime dishwasher.
Okay.
At Chiquita O'Brien's.
So there's a lot of parallels here. So he started working when he was 13 years old, and in today's money, when he sold his businesses, he was worth $310 billion. To give you a little perspective,
wow.
Bill Gates is the world's wealthiest man by a few billion right now.
Yeah.
And he's worth $75 billion according to Forbes.
Just 75.
And Donald Trump, our new president, who's a famous billionaire, he's worth $3.7 billion. So Andrew is worth 100 times more than Donald Trump.
That boggles your mind. I mean, it's hard to get your head wrapped around. That's probably more than many countries in our world. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
It's crazy.
So we're going to get into super move number 1. Is he says, you must take possession of your own mind. You must take possession of your own mind. Now, that is something that Andrew Carnegie eloquently says. This is a notable quotable from Andrew Carnegie himself, the late, great entrepreneurial tycoon. He says, a man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled. So I'm going to start with you, Z. Why is it so important? When you were 13 years old, you're washing dishes.
Washing dishes.
You grew up, you didn't have a rich dad, a rich mom. Can you give the Thrivers some sort of background as to how you grew up and what was going on when you were working at the age of 13?
Well, big family, not a lot of income, and so if you wanted something, you had to go buy it yourself, and so like school supplies and clothes and all that, I had to contribute to, and so we did odd jobs around the neighborhood that you could do, like mowing the yard and all that. I once mowing other lawns,
Yeah.
our lawnmower got broken, so I borrowed the neighbor's lawnmower one time.
Okay.
And then he saw me wheel off down the road to go mow somebody's yard with it, right? And I come back, and he pulls me to the side and goes, yeah, that's not going to work anymore. If you want to borrow the lawnmower to mow your yard, you can't use my lawnmower to go, mow the neighbor's yard, make money with it. But, the mindset is that, if you sit around and wait for someone to give it to you, if you sit around and wait for your lottery ticket to finally the numbers get called, you're going to be waiting a long time. So we all have the ability in this great country of ours, and even around the world for that matter, to get out there and make something happen. And I was 13 and I got a job, and I made $1.80 an hour.
Sweet.
And when he gave me, so after a while, he said, pulled me to the side and said, I'm going to give you a raise. And I was so excited. He was going to give me a 10-cent raise. I was so excited about the raise. He said, okay, I'll make it $2. Get out of here. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big time deal.
Now, Myra, you work with women who are stuck, as you said. They're stuck. Talk to me about the importance of them learning to take possession of their own mind and their own thoughts. Why is that such a critical first or early step?
That's actually the first step that we tackle. Because if you can't get your mindset adjusted, nothing after that is going to work, because you're going to constantly be going backwards.
You're listening to the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Okay, Myra, so you're saying that's the first area you tackle, the first area. Now, where do most people get that wrong? Where are most people kind of drifting around? Because I know if you're listening to this right now, there's somebody listening to this right now. I'm sure it's not you, the listener. It's probably the person in the car with you right now. But I know for me, I had this super negative attitude, and I thought that the Calvary was going to come and help me, that some other third party was going to help me, that somebody... Why do you have to just start with that mindset that you are totally in control of where you want to go? Why is that so important?
I think previously people have experienced some failures, and we've been taught that failure is a time to stop. You can't go forward. But if you take the failure mindset and learn from it, there's something to be gained from every positive or negative lesson that we've had. So if you don't take your failures and allow that to put you in a mindset of, I need to wait for someone or someone's going to come save me, and you make the adjustment mindset first, then you can move forward with what you need to do. You've got to work for it. I always tell my clients, you've got to do the work, and it starts with your mind.
And this is definitely not a political show, Z. This is not the show you go to tune in for political insights.
Or home gardening. There's very fine shows out there on home or cooking.
However, there's a little commentary I want to throw in there real quick here.
All right.
Recently, the last 8 years, we've had a president who came from basically political obscurity. He gave an unbelievable speech at the DNC convention, and then he just like a meteoric rise, just all of a sudden he's president of the United States. Now we have another guy who he's never run for anything, and all of a sudden he's now the president of the United States. And all I would say, we're in a country where you can literally right now, if you're listening right now, you can absolutely take possession of your thoughts and change your life. Now here's a little fun factoid for you about Andrew Carnegie. He starts working at age 13. This is back in 1848. Now, see, he started working back in the day. He was working as a bobbin boy.
A bobbin boy?
This is where you change spools of thread in a cotton mill. So he's working 12 hours a day. Z, 12 hours a day.
Okay.
6 days a week. That's 72 hours a week. Now he's working. You're making a $1.80 per hour.
I don't think that's legal these days, by the way.
Were you making a $1.80 per hour?
Oh yeah, I'm proud of. Well, and then I got my raise to $2.
Well, there's inflation, I understand, but he was making $1.20 per week.
Wow.
Back in the day. Now his father started off working in a cotton mill, but he realized that, hey, we're not going to make enough money to be able to make it. So he asks his son, who's 13, hey son, can you start working? This is This is where he started, the world's wealthiest man. Now he has a notable quote. He says, all human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes. Z, you see this all the time. You see people that you hire that start off at an entry-level position in your businesses. And then they alter their mindset, and the next thing you know, you're partnering with them, you're working with them, you're promoting with them. What advice would you have for somebody who's listening right now who's stuck in a mental rut? Maybe they're stuck in a job, maybe their business is stuck. Maybe they own their own business and they're just stuck. What advice would you have for altering that attitude?
Well, the best thing about your mind, the best thing about your mind is, and the best thing about your thoughts is that you can choose to think what you want to think.
You can choose to think what you want to think.
Yeah. I was, this morning, matter of fact, I was in the shower and I had some really kind of negative, sad thoughts in my mind.
Oh, man.
And I just kind of shook them off, and I said, what am I doing? I don't want to be sad right now.
Yeah.
I just think of something else. I could have gone down that little trail, and I could have marinated on it, and could have, been in the shower, weep. I'm sure I could have been there just crying, going, oh my gosh, it's so sad.
I have a little confessional I want to share here with you.
Oh, please do.
When things aren't exactly labeled, like label out on a shelf, like, so example, cupboards annoy me in a home resident situation.
I can see why. They're very annoying just naturally.
But if you have a shelf where like a retail store,
yes,
and all the labels are facing the same way,
yes,
it makes me happy. But if I walk into like my house or anyone else's house where things are not aligned in lines, like it makes me nuts. And I could go down that mental path of going, can I just reorganize your cabinet
every day?
Seriously,
yeah.
And that's a thing for me. It bothers me, and I'm an absolute perfectionist about a great many things. But I have to choose to not go down that rabbit trail, because I'm telling you, everyone listening, you might go, you're crazy. This radio show host is nuts. What's his problem? But then you're the person who, if you are a minute late to church, you don't want to go anymore?
Yeah.
Maybe you're the person who, if you're not invited to a party, now you're offended the rest of your life. Maybe you're the person, if you don't get promoted, you're now mad at your boss forever. We all have faults. We all have them. So I want you to do here, before we head into the break, is I want everyone to get out a list, get out a sheet of paper right now.
I got my paper.
Pull over on the side of the road, and I want you to make a list of your biggest weaknesses. Those negative attitudes that you've repeated over and over and over to the point they've become a habitual way of doing things. Go ahead and write down anything negative, any negative thoughts, any negative patterns, just negative. Because what we're going to do when we come back is we're going to talk to you about the importance of setting goals. And goals are all about moving past where you're stuck, right? And so we've got Myra Shaw, expert on helping women get unstuck. Z, an expert of helping dudes get unstuck. Z, are you an expert of helping dudes get unstuck? Is that how you describe yourself?
Yes, and I love what Myra said earlier about the moves, the BAM.
The BAM.
The BAM. So
Action.
today, on the hump, we're going to BAM.
Now, when we come back, Supermove number 2, you must set big goals. Thrivetime Show. What's going on there, Thrive Nation? Welcome back to Tulsa's only local business radio show, the Thrivetime Show, during your drive time home. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year in your ear, and I'm joined here with the man, the myth, the dude with the positive attitude. It's Dr. Robert Zellner. Sir, how are you?
Hello, America and the rest of the world, to your favorite business show.
Yeah, now the thing is, we have the thrivetimeshow.com. It's thrivetimeshow.com, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm not making this up. We have Thrivers listening right now in Australia, in New Zealand, in Canada. Talked to a guy the other day from Wyoming. I talked to someone in Delaware the other day. I've never even met people from Delaware, but apparently Delaware has the internet.
Apparently. Thank you, Al Gore.
Thank you, Al Gore. Yes.
Thank you.
And we have a very special guest who's flown up here from Houston, Texas. I met her at a Chevron speaking event. There, we're talking to Big Oil, and we were talking there, and we had this event we were doing, working with local entrepreneurs, and there I met a lady who's a business coach for women specifically. She helps women who their businesses are stuck. It's Miss Myra Shaw. Miss Myra, how are you?
I'm excellent. Let
me ask you this here. What makes you so passionate about helping these female entrepreneurs? Why do you do it?
Women have some brilliant ideas. Brilliant. Not to say that men don't, but we're kind of brilliant as women.
I would say women just as how it works at my house. My wife controls 51% of the vote for most things. She's usually right, and I usually catch up to her logic later.
Yes.
Later.
So women have all these genius ideas, but we've been kind of taught to wait.
Yeah.
We're waiting for, we don't really know what, but waiting for someone to give us approval, affirmation, whatever it is to get going.
You shouldn't do anything until your kids graduate.
No.
Right?
You have to
until you retire.
Right. And those are all the excuses I hear. Because you just feel like you're supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Because we are kind of conditioned to put ourselves last.
Why?
I think that's just as we've been raised as young. It's a mom thing.
Code?
Yeah.
It's a mom code.
You're used to taking care of other people.
Yeah.
And so a lot of women feel guilty putting themselves first. I have a Maven quote that says, "Do it without guilt." Because oftentimes we can get women to move, but then they're stretched out on the couch for 2 days feeling guilty about it. I'm like, my goodness, do it, but do it guilt-free. You deserve your own greatness.
Now, if you're listening right now and you feel like, okay, I deserve a little bit of my own greatness here. I want to move ahead. Well, this is the show for you, because we're talking today about the 8 wealth-building super moves of the late great Andrew Carnegie. This guy was, in today's dollars, let me give you a little context here. Again, for those of you who missed it here, Bill Gates is worth $75 million right now.
Billion.
Sorry, $75 billion according to Forbes. $75 billion. He's the world's wealthiest man. That fluctuates up and down based on the valuation of Microsoft, but $75 billion. And Andrew Carnegie was worth $300+ billion. This is like $310 billion. To give you a little context, again, Donald Trump is worth $3.7 billion according to Forbes. This means he was 100 times wealthier than Donald Trump.
That's incredible. And that's in today's dollars.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wonder what the dollars from then were.
Now, I don't have the inflation
have
calculator, but during the break, we'll go ahead and do that so we
Okay.
can give that to the listeners there. But I will say this. We're talking about the super moves of Andrew Carnegie. Now, super move number 2 is you want to set big goals. And here's a notable quotable from Andrew Carnegie. He says, if you want to be happy, set a goal that commands your thoughts, liberates your energy, and inspires your hopes. Now, this is a guy who started working at age 13. A little fun factoid for you. At the age of 15 in 1850, Carnegie became a telegraph messenger boy. Notice the word boy. In the Pittsburgh office of the Ohio Telegraph Company at $2.50 per week. He moved up a little bit. He's making $2.50.
Doubled his salary.
Doubled his salary. Now, following the recommendation of his uncle. So his uncle was like, hey, you got to learn this skill, and then you can make some more money. So he made many connections this way. He also paid super close attention to detail and quickly learned to distinguish the different sounds on incoming telegraph signals that were produced. He developed this ability to translate signals by ear without using the paper slip. Thus, he was promoted to being the operator.
You know what, Clay's so important about today's show for everybody out there listening is that we all want to celebrate the victory.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, we all want to celebrate the dude that did the deal or the gal that made the thing that hit big and now it's a big deal, right?
Yes.
But you have to understand that every one of those success stories started with the first step. Started with the boy he's 13, making $1.20 per week, working 72 hours.
Can you, real quick here.
I got a horn.
Can you kind of just
Truck
paraphrase
stop.
what you just said again? Because that was that was profundity, audio profundity.
Well, we all want to celebrate the victories. You see, the victories are when you cross the finish line.
Yes.
The victories are when you stand on the podium. Podium. And you get the medal.
The medal. Yes.
And the crowd is cheering. And chanting your name. Robert. But nobody was there cheering the day you rolled out of your bed at 4 a.m. to go work out.
You look weird in the morning. You look weird in the morning.
Day after day. Because you see, you just didn't get across the finish line. You just didn't get a gold medal. You just didn't win the thing about the thing and earn all the money because you had the thing. It started off just like Andrew Carnegie did back when he was 13 years old. We all start on the bottom.
We all start at the bottom.
We all start on the bottom, and it's okay if you're there. This show is going to help you how to go to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next step, and then the next step. And then we'll be celebrating your big victory.
Absolutely. I'm going to tell you this. Two little thoughts came to my mind here. Thought number 1 is that fruit at the bottom yogurt is fabulous. When they put the fruit all at the bottom, that's just something about having it at the bottom. You stir it up. It's so good. It's
so good.
Greek yogurt. Wow. But the second thing is Myra, you've helped a lot of women that started off at the bottom. You've been mentored by people who've started at the bottom. Talk to the listeners, specifically the listeners out there who are at the bottom. What advice would you have for someone who's at the bottom? Nobody's celebrating them. They're getting up day after day, and they're barely seeing any improvement in their search engine rank or in their bank account or whatever that metric is. What advice would you have?
The most important thing, be okay being a beginner. We have all this pressure to be amazing, to be at the top, to be on the gold medal stand, to be number 1, to have the rank, your search engine be number 1.
Yeah.
Be okay being a beginner. Do the work a beginner must do.
I'm going to say something right now that it's going to irritate. Z's here. Z's job is to be the guardrails and to keep me.
Should I brace myself, Z?
Yes, you definitely should brace yourself, Myra. So, what percent of people are you going to irritate with this statement? Just for the fun fact.
I'm going to say about 5%.
Oh, that's all.
There's a guy out there named Ty Lopez. If you Google this guy, okay? He says, "Do you want to start a business so that you can have all the money you want and travel around the world?" That's like the question he asks on his site.
Oh, sure.
And if you go watch his videos, he's in front of a helicopter. He's getting out of a Lamborghini. He's got all these moves, and he's teaching you how to become rich quick.
Oh, yeah.
Get rich quick.
Because that's a thing.
Now, if you Google the address of his businesses, which I have done, because many Thrivers I've talked to are like, what about this guy? I'm going to tell you what. His fake address is based in a UK, United Kingdom warehouse. It's like, and the house that he owns is leased, and the people in the videos are outsourced. They pay models to be in the background of his stuff. And I'm saying is, there is a charlatan culture out there that's trying to teach you to get rich quick, and then you start to compare yourself to that get rich quick reality TV, look, I can make millions in like 2 months kind of thing, and you start to feel bad if you don't make success overnight. But when we come back, we're going to be teaching you the specific daily step-by-step moves that you need to take your dreams and to turn them into reality. We're going to teach you how to bust a move here with Myra Shaw. Yeah. Hello, Tulsa and Green Country and Oklahomies. Welcome back here. We're broadcasting live from the left coast of the Arkansas River and the beautiful Riverwalk and the Thrive15.com world headquarters. That's right. You have found your audio dojo of mojo. And my name is Clay Clark. You're listening to us just right before dark on your drive time home. I'm the former Entrepreneur of the Year for the state of Oklahoma. And I'm joined here with Dr. Robert Zellner. He's an optometrist. He's really an entrepreneur who's trapped inside an optometrist's body. Can you explain, Dr. Z, for the folks listening, what that means to be trapped inside that optometrist's body?
Well, what it means is that the outside doesn't have to, the cover of your book doesn't have to tell you what's on the inside of your book. So on the outside, my education and what I do is I'm an optometrist. But really,
secretly,
inside, you look at the cover and you go, oh, that's an optometrist. But really, when you start reading my book, which is me, I'm really an entrepreneur. So
I'm going to brag on you for a second, and I've never shared this with you, so get ready for this little nugget of awesome.
Oh my.
Sean Copeland, who's one of our mutual friends.
Yes, great guy.
And he is the guy who's the founder of Regent Bank.
Yes.
And you are one of the founding funders of Regent Bank.
Yes.
So you helped fund it. He helped found it, whatever that means. The thing is you put a lot of money into his vision.
Yes.
And now today, Regent Bank is doing very well.
Yes.
I believe you guys have over $280 million of assets or whatever that is. I mean, you guys are doing great.
Yes.
And he told me, and he told, when I wasn't present, he told somebody else that you, of all the business people he's ever met, you are the top guy.
Wow.
True story.
Wow.
And it came back to me, and a guy says, hey, I've been told by Sean that Z is the top business entrepreneur guy in the book.
I'm humbled by that.
True story. This is a guy who owns a bank, doing very well. So, and today we brought on a lady who's a guru, and she specifically helps women who are entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs. They want to start a business, and for whatever reason, they're just feeling stuck, or maybe they have a business and they're stuck. It's Miss Myra Shaw. Myra, how are you?
Excellent. I'm glad to be here with you guys, having lots of fun.
Well, we were talking today about a subject that it got me pumped up, and I was doing the research with the team on this. We're breaking down the 8 wealth-building supermoves of Andrew Carnegie. Supermove number 1, in case you missed it, was you must take possession of your mind. And supermove number 2, you must set big goals. Now, supermove number 3, you must learn to motivate yourself. Now, Andrew Carnegie says something that comes across as a little bit intense. Now, again, this is a guy who started working at the age of 13. And by the way, he didn't want to. He had to.
Yeah.
So at the age of 13, his dad says, hey, we're not going to be able to make it. We're first-generation immigrants. Unless you get to work, we're not going to make it. So he starts working at the age of 13, goes on to become the world's wealthiest man. Here's his notable quotable. He says, people who are unable to motivate themselves must be content with mediocrity, no matter how impressive their other talents. Myra, what advice would you have for the ladies listening right now who, for whatever reason, cannot motivate themselves? Can you coach them? Can you teach people motivation? Do you have a taser that you lend to people to taser themselves? I mean, what advice would you have for somebody who's struggling to get motivated?
Oftentimes, that's where my witty and direct talk comes in.
Oh, come on now.
Sometimes we need a hug. Sometimes we just need a swift kick.
Can you kind of break me, just real quick? And I'm not mocking women. I'm just going to give you my female voice, which is very terrible. But let's say we're on the phone and
Yes.
I'm one of your coaching clients.
Yes.
And I say this, Myra, I just didn't get my work done this week, and I'm running behind, and I just don't know if I have motivation. What would you say?
Tell me the reason why. That's not a reason. You're just saying I didn't.
Ooh.
That's not a reason.
Little accountability going on there.
So we have to
Ooh.
dig into the why, because if you really don't figure out your why, you're going to repeat that excuse again for the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing.
Break down the why. What do you mean by why?
Why did you not get it done? So oftentimes we set these huge, big goals, which is what we're talking about, setting big, and we approach the goal as I'm going to do it all at one time.
All at one time.
All at one
Instead
time.
of taking the big goal and breaking it down into smaller bite-sized pieces. So the first thing I ask my clients to do with big things, let's break down this into phases and get phase one, and then what are the steps for phase one? So we're focused on the one step, not I don't want to focus on losing 20 pounds today. Just this week, I want to get moving. I want to eat right. I want to get enough hydration. This week, the steps for this week.
Now, there's somebody listening right now, and you're going, okay, how does this apply to me? I own a business. How can I benefit from this knowledge? What do I do with this? I'll give you an example. Years ago, I started working with these landscapers. They're two dudes, landscapers, good guys. And they came in, and they saw me at a speaking event for the Broken Arrow Chamber of Commerce. And they said, Z, I want to be top in Google. They said, I want to be top in Google.
Top dog.
And I said, okay, well, let's break down the 4 steps to be top in Google. 1 is you have to have more content than anyone else, more original text than anyone else. 2, you have to have more backlinks. 3, your site has to be Google compliant. And 4, you have to have the most reviews. So I said, what we need to do is you guys need to commit to writing more content than your competition. We look up their competition, no exaggeration. Their competition had about 400 articles or 400 pages of text on their landscaping website, which is why they're top.
Yeah.
And so week number 2, the guy comes in, he says, I've been working like 2 hours writing content, and I'm nowhere even closer. I'm like page 9 of Google. I said, listen, Broseph, work with me here. Bro, if you will just stay the course and commit to writing 4 hours of articles per week, that's like, we'll block out time. At the end of this year, you'll be top in Google. Well, it's about, about 60 weeks later, over a year. He comes to me and says, dude, our phone is completely blowing up. I said, why? He goes, we're top in Google for holiday lighting and for landscaping. We're like the top guys. Like our phone, we're getting calls all day. This is unbelievable. And the excitement that he experienced right then, really, what we should have been celebrating was the activity he started doing 60 weeks before.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're talking about, is those tough steps you have to take, but you have to learn how to motivate yourself. If you're in the mental toilet right now, Thrivers, I'm telling you, you can absolutely do this. We come back, we're going to be teaching you super move number 4. What is it? Come back and see. Hello, Thrive Nation. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show, presented by EW Scripps Company and Thrive15.com. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year. I'm a father of 5 human kids, the owner of just large amounts of chickens. We have new ducks. We just got some new baby ducklings. Our other ducks flew off, Z. They flew off. They migrated.
Tis the season.
Is there, now, Dr. Z, you are an optometrist.
Yes.
You're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You're an investor in a bank. But you own a ranch.
Yes.
We raise thoroughbreds.
Yes.
How do I keep, as a guy who breeds horses,
yes.
Tell me, how do I keep my ducks from flying away?
How do you keep your ducks in a row?
Yeah, how do I keep them from flying away? I've matriculated, I've coached, I've mentored, and my favorite duck, George Washington, he had a big poof of hair. I called him George. He just flew away. How do I keep him from flying away?
Are you sure he flew away?
I know he did.
Maybe he got carried away.
No, he flew away.
You saw him. He said, I'm out of here,
All of them migrated. How do I keep them to staying around? What's the move?
Well, you can either, I think you can like put some kind of soap on their wings.
Really?
I don't know. It sounds good. Or you can trim a wing. You can keep one wing like you're trimmed.
Yeah.
And then but then I guess you got to keep doing that because they'll molt. But they only molt so often and grow out new feathers.
I was offended when the ducks left. I had this relationship, and all of a sudden they're gone. It's like empty nest syndrome. When your kids graduate from high school.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have, Z? Last time you checked?
3. I'm pretty sure.
And are they all out of the house?
Yes and no. They spend a lot of time there.
Well, when they left for college, did you feel like the ducks left? Like they flew away? Like you're like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's like but I guess it's fall, so maybe they're flying south. George probably said, "Hey, it's the weather's changing. I'm out of here." Maybe you upset him. I don't know. Maybe it's a hostile work environment.
For listeners who are going, what are you guys talking about? What is this show? This isn't the Thrivetime show. It's business school without the BS. We talk about real life, real business. Occasionally, I try to pick Z's brain about the migration patterns of ducks.
Occasionally.
It's the first time it's ever happened. But now today we have a very special guest on the show. We have a very special guest here as we're talking about Andrew Carnegie, his 8 super moves for wealth building. Andrew Carnegie, the guy who in today's dollars was worth $310 billion. Just
billion.
To give an example, almost 4 times more than the world's wealthiest man, Bill Gates. Unbelievable wealth. Bill Gates today is worth $75 billion, according to Forbes. Donald Trump is worth $3.7 billion, and he's worth $310 billion. And so to talk about these big ideas, we've brought on a lady who helps people who are starting at all different facets of all different times in their career. Some people she coaches have a very thriving business, and they just need help going to the next level. Some people are startups. Some people have careers, and they're struggling with advancing, but they're all the common denominator is they're stuck. And I met this lady at a speaking event I did for Chevron down in Houston, and when I met her, I was like, oh my gosh, we have to get you on the show. It's Miss Myra Shaw. Myra, how are you?
I'm enjoying myself and learning about ducks and all kinds of things. You guys are awesome.
Have you spent a lot of time matriculating and coaching ducks?
I have not.
Okay, no, but you do coach lady entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And for the females who are listening right now who want to start a business, but they're putting it off until after their kids fly away, after they graduate, after they go off to college, what advice would you have for them?
You can start now. This is the best time to start now. Right now. That was the best thing I did for myself, was starting my entrepreneur journey while I was still in corporate America. Because one of the greatest things, you have funding. You have some money already.
Now, let me ask you this, because, again, you are a wonderful, wonderful woman. I really don't, whenever we have different guests on, we have people from all different races and religions, and I don't really spend a whole lot of time marinating on that. But the fact is, you're one of the few African-American ladies who's working in the natural gas trading world. Why is that so rare in your mind? From your experience, why is it so rare? There's so few African-American ladies who are working in that particular industry.
I think oftentimes from the experience that I saw, there was a lot of African-American women, per se, more in the accounting areas like that. Trade floor environment, there just wasn't a lot.
Pretty intense.
Pretty intense. And you got to have some pretty tough skin to hang out there. It's not really where everybody wants to be.
Was it like running around a bunch of office linebackers? What describe the daily operations working on a natural gas trade floor? What is that like?
As after, this is a key pivot, after Enron, things settled way down.
Okay.
Because corporate, they just weren't for all the craziness. Now, prior to Enron, it was like a New York floor. It was yelling and just lots of activity.
For people who are listening right now, we have entrepreneurs of all different ages and backgrounds who don't know what Enron was all about. Can you kind of summarize that?
You're listening to the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
So can you kind of summarize that whole, everybody listening who's just unfamiliar with what Enron was, can you kind of give you a quick kind of third grade level overview?
Yeah, so the oil and gas, I traded natural gas. So essentially, we sell natural gas to a company that is generating power. So when you go home and hit your light switch or
Hit the
your air
switches.
conditioner,
Yeah.
it all comes on because you have power at your house.
Yeah.
That's essentially the short version of what I did.
Okay, and Enron was a meteoric, unsustainable, actually unethical, unreal. What they did was they created false profits,
Yes.
false revenue, false prosperity by screwing with their numbers and irresponsible accounting. Obviously, it ended up leading to people going to jail and some crazy stuff. And so when Enron was over, all of a sudden things changed. It got a little more calm.
It literally changed the industry.
Okay.
We had a lot more rules in place. They didn't want anybody else cooking numbers, obviously.
What? Why can't you cook the numbers?
Yeah,
That was so fun.
So a lot of changes happened after that, but it still is a very fun industry and very relevant because we all use power on a daily basis.
We got to get the power, Z. We got to pump it up using the power. We got to hit the switches. All right, so we're talking about this super move number 3, moving on to 4. But before we move on to super move number 4, I want to share a little fun factoid. At the age of 18, think about this, Thrivers. What were you doing at the age of 18? Some of you were cruising up and down Memorial. You know, you're in that car driving up and down. You go, well, when we get down to 51st, I'm going to turn back around. And I'm going to head up to about 81st. And then when I get to 81st, I'm going to turn back around and get back to 51st. And I'm going to get that subwoofer next weekend. I'm installing that sub. I'm going to get that lighting in there. I'm going to get that furry wheel, get the dice in the mirror. Boom. That's what you were doing when you're 18. But Andrew Carnegie, starting in 1853, Thomas A. Scott, his boss, he moves him up to $4 per week. This is, again, doubling. So at the age of 18, he now is becoming basically his right-hand man. And he becomes his secretary, telegraph operator at the age of 18. Now, Z, you have a lot of people that come work with your businesses. You have hundreds of people that work in your different businesses, the auction, the ranch, the optometry clinic, etc. Talk to me about how important it is to wow your boss. For someone listening right now who's starting off at the entry level, maybe they're middle America, maybe they're kind of in that they're kind of in that I would say middle class. They're working in a job. They're another person on the team. Why is it so important to wow your boss if you want to take your career to the next level?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. This may not be 100%.
Okay.
But it's a good solid 97%.
Okay, here we go.
All right. I mean, this is a good solid. I give it a couple 3 percentage points. It may not. Wowing your boss is one of the best ways to ensure you're going to take the next step in your life.
Knowledge bomb, Z. Knowledge bomb. I mean, okay, somebody's listening right now and they're like, yeah, but I want to screw my current boss. I want to leave early. I want to not do my job because I'm starting my own thing. And in order for me to get my own thing going, I got to leave early. I got to pretend like I'm actually working when I'm not working.
Right.
Talk to me about the power of wowing your current boss. Why do you have to do that?
Well, I mean, you've got a choice. You could sit there and sneak selfies of yourself all day long and, build up your Instagram followers and post on Facebook. Or you can get to work early. You can over-deliver on what you're supposed to do. All right? And do the 5 A's, as I call them.
Okay, here we go.
You have your attitude. You have a great attitude when you come in. You're smiling. You're happy.
Oh, come on.
You're not letting the problem that happened to you yesterday affect you today, right? Come on. The 5 A's.
Come on now.
The 5 A's. Here we go. First was attitude. You got to have the attitude. Attitude. Second, appearance. Be neat and tidy.
Neat and tidy?
Comb that mop over.
You gotta comb that mop.
Comb that mop over.
No nasty comb overs.
No nasty comb overs. 3, you've got to be above and beyond. You got to not only do what you're supposed to do, but do a little bit extra.
My mind is being blown. I want to cry right now. Oh, it's so good.
You have to have. I'm trying to think of my 4th A.
4th A?
Yeah, I'm.
We had a mental break.
You know what I'm going to do? After the break, I'm going to give you my last 2 A's.
You've got to gather yourself. It's so
I got to
good.
gather myself. I know.
It's so good. But I'm just telling you, Thrivers right now, if you are out there and you want to go to the next level, I'm telling you, it starts with where you're at. Russell Bill Simmons, in his book Life and Deaf, DEF, because he started Def Jam. I read his book, and he said, if you don't know where to start, seriously, just wow your current boss. He says, go out in front of your building and start just sweeping and make sure your boss's business has the cleanest sidewalk ever, because eventually that'll get noticed and you will get promoted. What's that, Z?
I've got the other 2 A's, but I'm going to wait till after the break.
After the break?
You got to come back and get them.
Are you playing Chris Isaac?
Playing a little.
What is this?
I mean,
Chris Isaac?
Yeah, on a hump day, on Wednesday.
Unbelievable.
Come get your other 2 A's.
Hello, Oklahomies, and welcome back to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. It's business school without the BS. And yes, my name is Clay Clark, and many of you have found us on Fast Company. You Googled my name, Clay Clark, and you found Fast Company, or you maybe see me on Wikipedia or Forbes or Bloomberg or whatever. And the thing is that I took algebra 3 times, and I never really did retain that knowledge. I didn't graduate from college. I'm not a genius, but I will tell you that I've had a lot of success in business, but no one ever wants to talk about how I did it. They always want to talk about where I'm at.
Yeah.
They always want to say, what's it like being able to buy whatever you want? Well, I'll tell you what, I enjoy, as an example, my dad, he recently lost his battle with ALS, and it was a tough thing. But my dad says to me, he turns to me, he says, son, I want to go to my reunion. This was like 8 months ago. And my dad graduated from high school in Waco, Texas. And when you have ALS, one of the things is you have a full-time respirator. So you have to wear a mask on your face all the time. And what happens is most people who have ALS eventually die of suffocation. And what happens is your body just eventually loses the ability to breathe. I mean, we take for granted the ability to breathe. My dad turns to me and says, I want to go. Well, the thing is that when you have ALS, if you don't have oxygen at all times, you're going to die. And so I said, we're going. He goes, what do you mean we're going? I said, we're going. Because it's unlimited financial resources as far as I'm concerned. It's my dad. He brought me to this planet. He taught me who I am today. And I'm like, we're going, So he's like, what do you mean we're going? I'm like, we're going to rent like 2 handicap vans. We're going to get whatever the wheelchair is. We're going to get whatever the oxygen mask is. I don't care what we have to do and or how much it costs. We're going to get you in a hotel, whatever. We go down there to the Marriott Hotel. And I'm going to brag on the Marriott Hotel in downtown Waco. These people are awesome. They know how to do it. They said, we realize your dad is struggling. What's going on? I said, he has ALS. This is his reunion. He wants to be there. They said, what's his favorite food? I said, barbecue. They brought barbecue.
Wow. Awesome.
Just totally
Nice.
unsolicited to just be nice people. They brought a fan in because you have to have circulating air. They did all these things. They brought in a backup generator in case the power went out. All these things. They just did. But the thing is that is why you want to achieve financial freedom. It's not so you can buy a bunch of crap and have a bunch of things and go, oh, look at this, this is my boat, and this is my look at my new boat, and look at my new car, and look at my
fine boat.
It's a fine boat. But I mean, these are fun things to have, but that's not why. You want to achieve financial freedom and time freedom so that you can spend time with family, friends, and be able to enjoy the life that you want. And I'm just telling you, it is worth it. Was it tough? Yes. But my dad pulls me aside after the reunion. It was the highlight of my entire life. If nothing else happens, I can drop the mic right there. It was awesome. My dad turns to me and says, this was my favorite day of my life.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And that was like, okay, this is all worth it.
Yeah.
So if you're listening right now and you're struggling to get ahead financially, this is the show for you. And I'm honored to have a guy who's been kind of my mentor from afar. Dr. Z here. He's built this optometry clinic. My wife's 20 years old. She's working as his front desk lady. What was the name of the job where the person who blows the puff of air into the person's eye? What was that job called?
A pre-tester.
A pre-tester. My wife was a pre-tester. And my wife's going, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm telling you, his business runs. And he's not the one meeting with every patient. With your DJ company, if you could learn how to do this and have other people who could actually entertain people, we could do it. This could happen.
So she's the one that encouraged you to come creep on me.
I'm not kidding. This was like a life-changing moment. But I started watching and observing and going, it's possible to build repeatable systems. So today, as we're talking about a subject here, the 8 wealth-building supermoves of Andrew Carnegie, I'm super excited to hear the final couple A's here. So you have 5 A's, never heard before on radio.
Well, before the break, we were talking about that it's not 100%, but I gave it like a 97% rating. That if you want to take the next step, wowing your boss is about a 97% success rate in taking that next step in life, okay?
True.
And I have 5 A's that I'm always kind of coaching on my employees. And they start off with, of course, we start with attitude. And then we had appearance.
I don't understand why you won't let people just come to work looking brutal, looking like they don't care about their personal
Look like they slept on their scrubs for 3 days. Yeah, we press those things, iron those things, come in neat with your appearance.
I want to ask some rude questions real fast. I'm sorry. I have to ask you.
All right. Okay.
You wear a soccer jersey every day now.
Pretty much.
But
on the days that I can.
But for many years, you always wore scrubs or whatever doctors wear.
Oh, yeah.
But now it's almost like you have refused to now conform.
It's my new uniform.
It's your new uniform.
Yeah.
So would your advice
be... it literally is a uniform.
Well, for your advice for the entrepreneur, would it be, hey, dress to impress until you have enough money to say, screw it, I'm just going to wear a soccer jersey? I mean, is that the advice?
Well, in life, you're doing one or two things. You're buying or you're selling. Yeah. And when you're selling, then you have to conform to the people that you want to sell to. And so, you have to dress appropriately. Your appearance matters, right?
I'm locked into this idea. I love it.
Yes. But when you're buying. When you're the buyer, dude, you can walk around in your flip-flops and your T-shirt, baseball cap, whatever you mean. When you're buying, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
you don't have to impress the seller.
Keep going with your A's.
Okay, so the next one was above and beyond. In other words, doing things, I tell you what, it's so amazing how many people that today's generation or today's people will say, I did what you're paying me to do, so therefore you should give me more, right?
Unbelievable.
So above and beyond, do more than you're supposed to. My next A, for those of you writing these down, is attendance.
Attendance?
Yes. Does that mean be there on time? No, be there early.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
Stay late. What?
I'm going to interrupt you real quick.
Oh, no.
There's a guy. One guy. Ever. In the history of DJ Connection, my company that I built and we sold when it was doing about 4,000 events a year. That's like 80 events per weekend.
That's a lot.
Jason Bailey.
Yes.
He was working at a grocery store, and he says, I want to come work for you. And I said, dude, I'm not hiring. He goes, I want to work there. I remember that Josh interviewed the guy, and I said, I'm not hiring.
Yeah.
He says, what can I do? So he has another job at a grocery store. He starts just showing up. And not only does he show up, he's the first guy in the building. Because he says, what time do you get to work? And I said, I usually start working at 5 or 6 in the morning. So he starts showing up before me.
Cool.
And that's how I who are you? He goes, I'm Jason Bailey. I'm the guy that I want, wants to work here, and you're not hiring, so I want to, and Devin Woolery, now at Thrive15.com. Devin, this guy wanted a job. We weren't hiring, so he did exactly what you said. He just showed up early. He got there when the boss got there. That's a move. Someone listening right now, if you want to get your boss's attendance, beat them to work. Back to you, Z.
And the last one is accuracy.
Accuracy.
You want to do things with accuracy. You want to be accurate and diligent.
What?
Yes, I know. What? You want to put things where they're supposed to go. You want to label them. I know. You want to get it correctly because, when you make a mistake, it just affects the whole business around you. And then your boss has to end up doing what? I'm sorry. He's got to go through his last, he's got to listen. He's got to answer. Satisfy. Build the trust back up because you were not accurate in your job.
Okay.
So the 5 A's.
5 A's. Can you repeat them one more time?
Attitude. Appearance. Above and beyond. Attendance. And accuracy.
Now, we have Myra Shaw here. Now, Myra Shaw, just I met her at a speaking event I was doing for Chevron. Found out that she actually worked with Chevron, one of the few female African-American traders of natural gas. Now she's a very successful business coach. Her business is booming. Things are taking off. And I want to ask you, when you're working with these entrepreneurs and people who want to start a business, why is it so important from your perspective that everybody always does a good job with their current client or their current job, their current boss? Why is it so important that people don't skip that step while moving on to their next paradigm? Why is it so important, Myra, that they always deliver for their current boss or their current client?
I have something that I always say called deliver with excellence. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect.
Okay.
We take perfection off the table.
Yep.
We don't talk about that. But delivering with excellence, if you're going to skip delivering with excellence where you are, say you're at level 2, but you want to get to 5, you can't skip it. You need that work that you're doing at that level to prepare you for the next one. So people want to just skip along and I just want to be at the higher level. I want to move up. You got to do great at where you are.
I don't feel bad about what I said today, but I do want to share it with Z because I think he might get a giggle out of this. We have a person who used to work in one of my businesses who did just a horrible job. Like, they did great. And in the last 2 months, they just decided to be horrible. So recently I got called for a review because the people who want to hire this person.
Okay.
And they said, what is your feedback of this person? And I just told them factually what happened. I said, they were great. Boop, boop, boop. And then the last 2 months, boop, 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 boop. This is what happened. And the person didn't get the job. They did not get the job. Mm-hmm. And the person calls me and says, I cannot believe that you told my current employer that I did boom, boom, boom. And I said, that's the employer you want. That's what you did, though. That's like your history. Like, that's the real thing. And I know with labor law, there's certain things you should say or shouldn't say. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, if you go, that man, you're mean, you're terrible, you're a bad guy. Well, check out Google reviews. Z, did people not go on there? If there's any small, as an entrepreneur, even if you don't make a mistake or if you make a slight mistake, do customers not go on Google and just write crazy commentary?
The trolls are in control. Oh my gosh.
Right? As an entrepreneur, I mean,
and sometimes you're like, oh gosh, that's horrible. I better contact that. So we look in our database and we're like, oh, wait a second. That name's not even a patient of ours.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot.
It does.
So
I'm just saying, I'm just telling you, Thrivers, our photography business, we have so many, it's called Epic Photos. If you go onto Google and you read the reviews, there's like 3 competitors and probably 25 former employees that have written bad things. Yeah. And then we have legitimately made some mistakes. But I'm just telling you, we've got overall a good review, but I'm just telling you, like, your reputation will follow you, and you have to over-deliver, because if not, there'll be haters. There's going to be people that don't like you. There's going to be whatever that is, and you have to make sure that no matter what, you got to do whatever's possible to make sure that you have the best reputation. You must deliver on your current obligations. Now, super move number 4, which we're going to talk about after the break, is you must learn to deliver on your promises. If you tell people I'm going to do something, you got to do it. You got to deliver on your promises. And Andrew Carnegie has a little notable quotable I want to read to you. He says, as I grow older, I pay less attention to what men say. I just watch what they do. I mean, Andrew Carnegie, this guy's bringing that knowledge you're not getting in college. Super move number 4, which we're going to talk about after the break, is you must learn to deliver on your promises. Hello, Oklahomies, and welcome back to the Thrivetime Show during your drive time home. This is the Thrivetime Show where we give you that business school without the BS. My name is Clay Clark, and I'm joined here with Dr. Robert Zellner. We have a very special guest on the show today, Miss Myra Shaw, and we're getting kind of profound here. We're breaking down Andrew Carnegie. Andrew Carnegie, the world's wealthiest man during his time. And by the way, in today's dollars, he'd be worth approximately $310 billion. To give you a little bit of perspective, Bill Gates is the world's wealthiest man right now, according to Forbes, and he's worth an approximate $75 billion. So, and Donald Trump, our new president-elect, he is now worth $3.7 billion, according to Forbes. And Andrew Carnegie's worth over $300 billion. So this is a guy who really knew what he's doing. We're talking about super move number 4. You must learn to deliver on your promises. Z, why is it so important that people listening right now, entrepreneurs people who want to be an entrepreneur, why do you have to just deliver on your promises and deliver on what you say you're going to do if you want to be successful? Why is that so important?
Well, I love what Andrew Carnegie said about that. He said, as I get older, I listen less to what men say or people say, and I pay attention more to what they do. I mean, I think that is just so profound in the sense that, talk is cheap, and you're going to be measured by your actions. And so if you want to be measured highly, if you want to be thought of highly, if you want to take the next step, which this show's all about the next step, if you want to do those things, then you have to deliver on what you're saying. If you're not going to do it, then keep your mouth shut.
Now, here is a fun factoid from Andrew Carnegie. He says this. This is a little fun factoid about Andrew Carnegie. He says, at the age of 20, in 1855, Scott, that's his boss, that was his boss. Scott made it possible for Andrew Carnegie to invest $500 in the Adams Express, which contracted with the Pennsylvania Railroad to carry its messengers. The money was secured by his mother's placing a $600 mortgage on the family's $700 home. But the opportunity was available only because of Carnegie's close relationship with Scott. The point is, Scott, his boss, made it possible.
Yeah.
He said, hey, you can invest in this business. You can do it. I mean, I'm going to give you the shot. And this guy's 20 years old at this point. But his boss cleared the runway and said, hey, there's an opportunity to invest. I could do it myself. I'm going to do it myself, but I'm going to let you invest with us because of what you've done. I mean, you've been loyal since the age of 13. This 7 years, Thrivers, 7 years into the relationship.
7 years.
His boss says, hey, you know what? I mean, yes, they did mortgage their house. Yes, they sacrificed, but his boss made it possible because of that relationship. And I'm telling you, he would not have had that leap into the investment game if it wouldn't have been for that 7 years. Think about 7 years. Myra, there's people listening right now. Myra Shaw, we have a Myra Shaw, an unbelievable business coach for women on the show today. Myra, there's people listening right now who've never done anything for 7 years. They've never done anything for 1 year.
True.
They've never done anything for 2 weeks. I'm just being real. I mean, you talk about, go ahead and do this today. Google Tulsa PR firms, and you're going to find our PR firm that I own called Make Your Life Epic. We're topping Google. Go ahead and go down to the bottom of that and click on our sitemap. We have, like, I'm not even exaggerating, close to 1,000 articles. 1,000. I mean, people go, 1,000? That's so many. Yeah, because we've been writing them every single week for, I'm 36, so almost 10 years, like 9 years. I mean, talk to me about the importance, Myra, the compound interest that people get when they do the daily task over and over again. Why is it so important?
That's where you build your consistency. That's how you truly grow as an entrepreneur. You have to be consistent. We oftentimes feel like when it gets a little tough, or if I stepped out and I tried it and it didn't work. Okay, it's time to throw in the towel.
Boom, done.
You got to be consistent.
And it's because I think a lot of people are comparing themselves to these charlatans.
Yes.
See, I love the word charlatan.
Charlatan.
If you guys Google it, if you're listening right now and you Google it, the word charlatan is profound to me. Recently, I've latched onto this word and I'm really focused on it.
He likes it.
But it is somebody who basically manipulates people through their great smiles and their great rhetoric. They're able to kind of convince people that you could become rich quick.
You're listening to the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
So what happens is it's like 10 p.m., and you should be going to bed. So you go to sleep. So you can't sleep.
Can't sleep.
I can't sleep. I can't do it. So you wake up, you open up the fridge, and you look in there, and you shouldn't do it, but you're like, well, I mean, the best time to have ice cream is in the middle of the night. I'll do it. So you open up that tub of ice cream, and you get it out, and you're sitting there, and you flip on the show. You flip on the thing, and there's a guy who's teaching you how you can make dehydrated beef jerky from your house.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, seems reasonable. I'll switch channel. So you change. There's a guy going, we're raising millions of dollars to help kids named Mugwai who live in Africa. You're like, I can't watch that show. You switch, and it's George Foreman going, this is a lean, mean grill machine. And you flip to a show, and the guy goes, I am literally making millions of dollars, and in like 2 weeks with no money down, no mortgages, no loans, you can become rich too. It's easy. It's a 3-step system. Come meet me in San Diego. And you go, well,
wow, I like San Diego.
Seems reasonable. He's got palm trees in his house. There's a pool. Surely he's not leasing the house. Surely he made his money overnight. Surely this is true. And then you go, I'm going to do it.
San Diego really is a city, by the way.
And you sign up for it.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're sitting there and they say, now, we're only going to take 10 qualified applicants. You have to apply for our program, but the first 10 that apply, if you qualify, we'll teach you the millionaire secret. And so now you're comparing yourself and you're going, I'm not making millions in like 2 weeks. I must be a failure. And that's what you're doing right now. And you got to quit doing that. You got to quit comparing yourself to charlatans. You got to understand that success takes time. It took Andrew Carnegie 7 years
to get the shot.
7.
And he got the shot because he impressed his boss.
By the way, Uber, and Twitter used to be called Odeo. And I don't know, 6 years later, that's when they hit profit. Just throwing that out there. Amazon struggled. Amazon struggled? Yeah. And then Jeff Bezos, his mom and dad said, you know what? We have about $300,000 saved. Google this. It's a verifiable fact. They said, we're going to take our entire retirement and put it into your business. I know you need some help. And he did it, but it took years. Doing the same thing for years.
I know. Today we're going to celebrate the next step. We're going to celebrate all of you on the bottom and you want to go to the top. We're going to celebrate the 57% of you that want to start a business out there. Yeah, that's a thing. Forbes.
According to Forbes, 57% of you listening right now want to start a business. Now, Supermove number 5. Supermove number 5. You must learn how to move past and through setbacks. Check it out. You're going to be out there doing the whole entrepreneurship thing. You're like, I listened to Myra. I listened to her. She's coaching me. I'm excited. By the way, Myra, if people want to get a hold of you, if they're a lady listening right now and they want a business coach like you to help them, how do they get a hold of you?
They can go to MyraShaw.com. That's MIARA, last name Shaw, SHAW.
And when Myra's coaching you, you're going to talk to her. And by the way, if you're coaching someone, you talk to them once a week or every day. How does that work?
Depends on which program you have, but normally it's at least once or twice a month.
Yeah.
But you schedule it. You schedule it when it works for you. So you look at my calendar. You pick out what works for you, and we get it done.
So you're out there, you're implementing Myra's steps, and check out. This is what's going to happen, though. You're going to go, you're going to get hit in the face with reality,
yes.
And Myra's going to coach you through how to push past those setbacks. But if you can't hire Myra, or maybe you didn't hire Myra, or maybe you don't have a coach, I'm telling you, if you have a business right now, you're going to get punched in the face with adversity. It's going to happen. Learn how to push through the setbacks after the break. Hello, Thrive Nation. Welcome back to the Thrivetime Show. Allergies are kicking in right now. For some reason, it's November, but I don't know what happened. The weather changed. Next thing I know, I wake up, my nose is just absolutely, my nasal congestion is unbelievable. It's indescribable. And so what I did is I pounded it. Well, I cut the bottle in half. Had half the bottle of DayQuil for me, half for Z. We're here. We're totally pumped up on DayQuil. Woo! Woo! And we're doing the Thrivetime Show. And today we're talking about the 8 wealth-building supermoves of Andrew Carnegie. And before we left, we were talking about supermove number 4. Now we're talking about supermove number 5. You must learn how to move past and through setbacks. Andrew Carnegie has a notable quotable. He says this: "It marks a big step in your development when you come to realize that other people can help you do a better job than you could do alone." That is, I think, the antithesis of the concept that many entrepreneurs, because when you start a business, you have to do everything yourself.
Yep.
You have to raise money yourself, market yourself, sell yourself, do accounting yourself, train people, and everybody is like around you. They're leaving, they're quitting, they're starting, they're firing. You have a very unstable number of people. Because anybody, by the way, who's crazy enough to join a startup is probably going to move on. I'm just throwing that out there. If they go, so how many people work for you? And you go, it's me and my vision. And they go, so that's you. Wait, no, but it's really 3 of us: me, my vision, and myself. That you just sort of said yourself 3 times. It's just you. Okay, fine. When people join a company like that, they're a little bit delusional.
Yes.
And you have to be a little bit delusional to join a startup. So don't get offended when these non-stable people leave your non-stable company, okay? Don't get all upset about that. But what happens is eventually you're going to have to create a stable company. So now you have a thing you're selling, and people are buying it. And now instead of hiring a mentally unstable person who is super excited about your new startup and is willing to live in your office with you because you can't pay them, you're now going to have to hire some real people, some real guys who are going to have, real ladies who are going to have to roll with you and stick with you. You're going to have some sort of foundational stability. So you must learn how to, you got to get to that point where you go, okay, I've got to get over the fact that a lot of my startup team has now left, and now I have a different squad. Okay, and again, this the super move is you must learn how to move past and through setbacks. See, when you started your optometry clinic, you've been open up 25 years now. 25 years.
25 years.
How offended or how hurt were you mentally, spiritually, psychologically? How hard was it when some of the original people you hired ended up moving on or starting their own business or quitting? Or how hard was it for you when the people you started with moved on?
Well, the first few, you're kind of like, what? You don't want to do this the rest of your life?
I talked to you. I went out to lunch.
I trained you. I personally trained you.
Oh, we had a thing.
We made a checklist together. And then you get over it and you realize, you're just kind of, listen, when you hire someone, they're never going to be with you forever.
What?
So just book it. Just book it. You got a season of their life. Enjoy that season of their life, and be kind to each other. Be a great employee. Be a great employer, and know that there's going to come a time when they're going to say adios.
Reid Hoffman, who is the guy who founded LinkedIn. He was one of the founding partners of PayPal. He says this. I love his concept. He calls it a tour of duty.
Yes.
But if some guy enlists in the military, we had Veterans Day the other day. Veterans Day was such an awesome day to honor the people who've made this country free. If a guy serves in the military, he enlists at age 18. You can't be offended at the age of 50 if he's like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm done.
I mean, because it's a tour of duty. You enlist, and most people want to do maybe, my friend Joe, crazy deal, he served one tour of duty. And the military called him and said, do you want to go to Afghanistan for tour number 2? For me, I'm out. I'm like, hey, I'm good. But Joe, he goes, a lot of the guys that I enlisted with were going back, and I felt like I'd be leaving my guys. I got to go back. Which is, to me, why I love our military so much. That mindset of like, hey, I want to protect people's freedoms that I don't even know. But he goes back. But the thing is, after the second tour, he gets out. You can't be offended that he doesn't want to go back for his third tour of duty for active combat. I mean, eventually, you're done.
You're done.
And most people who are listening right now, 57% of the people, according to Forbes, want to start a business at some point.
Correct.
So we can't be offended if somebody wants to move on. All I would say for this is, say for you, the listener, is if you're listening right now and you want to move on, do so in an honorable way for your own benefit.
Sure.
I mean, you want to have a good resume. Myra, what feedback would you have on that?
That's a little tougher for women. Because we're such nurturers. I have something I say to women all the time, that this is not a group hug event.
What?
Because we get attached to the person, and we really get in our feelings when someone wants to quit or move on or whatever needs to happen. And I remind them that the reason you're an entrepreneur or doing what you're doing, you've got to know your why. This was given to you, not y'all.
Y'all.
It's a Texas word, y'all.
Y'all.
It was given to you. So no matter who goes with you or who stays, you are responsible to deliver it.
Man.
Yes.
Oof.
Now,
that's preaching.
Not a group hug.
Come on now. Not a group hug.
Not a group hug.
Now we have to move on to super move number 6, which is you must learn how to inspire a team. You got to inspire a team. Andrew Carnegie says no man becomes rich unless he enriches others.
Ooh.
You've got to inspire a team. Now the thing is, again, if you're listening, you started the business yourself. You took a picture with yourself. You did a selfie with yourself, and you built the business because you're self-employed. But eventually you have to go from being self-employed to owning a business. You got to go from me to we. Magic Johnson talks about this. I love Magic Johnson. He explains this. He was the best. By the way, Magic Johnson could have scored 30 points a game. But he realized, if I pass the ball, I will always win if I get my whole team involved. But Magic Johnson says, you have to go from me to we. That's a huge idea. I love when Magic explained that. I'm going, that's awesome. I mean, you're a 6'8" point guard. You could dominate. But again, we come back, we're going to be teaching you the super move, number 6. You must learn how to inspire a team. Thrivetime Show. Hello, Tulsa, Oklahomies, and people listening all over the world and potentially on other planets. It's the Thrivetime Show. This is your show where you go to learn how to start or grow a business. My name is Clay Clark. I'm the former SBA Entrepreneur of the Year, and I'm joined here with Dr. Robert Zellner and Miss Myra Shaw, business coach for women, and we're talking about the 8 super moves that Andrew Carnegie used to become the world's wealthiest man, worth $310 billion. A little perspective for you. Bill Gates is worth $75 billion today, Z. $75 billion.
Which is a lot.
This just in.
I mean, that's the richest guy in the world.
Our president-elect, Donald Trump, is worth $3.7 billion.
Still a lot.
And Andrew Carnegie was worth $310 billion, according to today's
boggles the mind.
It's
How many zeros is that? It's a lot.
It's a lot. A lot.
He ended up renovating a castle in Scotland where we grew up there at the kind of the peak of his career. I mean, this is unbelievable stuff. But anyway, super move number 6. You must learn how to inspire a team. Z, for the sake of time, we don't have a whole lot of time here on the Thrive Time Show. Why is it so important that entrepreneurs learn how to inspire a team, and where do they get it wrong typically?
Well, where do they get it wrong? Well, what they do, why is it important is this, is because we all want a bigger boat.
Bigger boat.
A bigger boat.
I like my boat.
I like my little dinghy. You start with the little dinghy.
Yep.
You start with the little dinghy, and you might even have the little pole. You know, if you're in the swamplands, you got the little pole, but you eventually get a paddle, and then you start paddling your little dinghy, and then you get a bigger boat, and you think, you know what? If I had more people in this boat rowing, we could actually go farther and faster.
We could go faster.
So then you say, hey, do you want to come help row my boat? And they go, how much you paying? Well, what's in it for me?
Right.
What's in it for me?
Hey, man, how much? I mean, I got to get in that boat. How much are you going to pay?
So you get them in there, and then pretty soon you got all these people in your boat rowing. And now you go from being a rower. Here's what most entrepreneurs don't get it. You're the guy that sits up at the front of the boat with the little drum, the drum. You know why he does that? You know why they get the beat and the cadence. Everybody's rowing together. It's much more efficient. The boat moves much faster and with much more agility.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you want to get in there and you want to just row with them. I mean, because you love rowing.
Yeah,
you had your dinghy, and you're probably the best rower.
And row. And row. Here we go. And row.
But you've got to learn how to transition to that dude that sits at the front
Playing the rhythm.
Do the Olympics? They have the rowing things, and they have the person sits in the front, keeping the cadence and all that. That's a job. That's a job I want now.
Ooka chaka.
Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yep.
And you've got to make that transition from being a rower to an inspirer, or to a person that's coaching them up and keeping them in line with each other.
Now, here's what happens.
Efficiency of moving the boat.
You're rowing, and someone goes, hey, man, do I get off for Thanksgiving on like Tuesday? You haven't taken a day off in like 10 years because you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Now, do I get to leave at 3, 4 to 2 on Tuesday, or what days are we getting off for Thanksgiving? And you're just going, are you kidding me? I haven't had a day off in 10 years. And this is what you want to say as an entrepreneur. Coach me, Z. If I'm an entrepreneur, I'm frustrated. My team, my rowers, my guys, they want to take a day off. What do you say?
Well, it's a balance. It's a balance. We talk about that when you own a business. There's a certain time you put on your good cop hat and you say, you know what, for the mental wellness and all this, you know what, I know we could get a little further if we all rode, but you know what, everybody take a breather, and that happens sometimes. And then sometimes you have on your bad cop hat and you go, no freaking days off.
No freaking days off for you guys. Just row. Just freaking row. Unbelievable.
So just keep rowing.
Just keep rowing.
Yeah.
Now, here's the deal. Fun factoid. Andrew Carnegie now, he's age 29. When we first started the program, he's 13.
Yep.
He's 29. Homie invests $40,000 in a Oil Creek in Venango County, Pennsylvania. In 1 year, the farm yields over $1 million in cash dividends. Long story short, he's 29. He's been working for 16 years. Some people go, 16 years doing the same thing? I've never done anything for 2 weeks. Yeah, so he does it for 16 years. Boom. He's starting to make some money, getting that momentum going. Now, super move number 7. You must learn how to make. You want to get your team to deliver results. You got to learn how to get your team to deliver results. It can't be just you. Andrew Carnegie says this: teamwork is the ability to work together toward a common vision, the ability to direct individual accomplishments toward organizational objectives. It is the fuel that allows common people to attain uncommon results. Myra, you've worked in big corporate America. You've worked with Chevron. Why is it so important that the entrepreneurs listening right now eventually learn how to get their team to deliver results?
Because you can't do it alone. That's the reason you got all these extra people in your boat when you move from your dinghy.
Oh.
You need them, and people want to be included. They want to be included. If you get people to recognize their value, they're going to row even harder for you.
Ooh. Inspiration.
That inspires people.
Time from Myra.
Yeah, you got to do it, though.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Now, if you're listening right now and you're going, I want to take out an oar and hit all of the members of my team because they're not rowing, I'm going to tell you this. This is a Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller, who's kind of like the competitor of Carnegie. They were both very crazy wealthy, and they competed back and forth. Carnegie claims that he never competed with Rockefeller, and Rockefeller was pretty outspoken about how he wanted to just beat Carnegie for the world's wealthiest man. They were going back. It was like Magic Johnson back in the day versus Larry Bird.
Yeah.
They respect each other, but they were competing. But the thing is that when Rockefeller says that he'd rather make 1% he'd rather make 1% off of 1 million people or 1,000 people than 100% of his own efforts. The point was he'd rather have a team of people and make just a little profit off of each team member than to make all of the profit off of his own efforts. And that's a switch you eventually have to make. Now, super move number 8, you must be thankful for what you have. Now, this is another quotable from Andrew Carnegie. Now, remember, he started work at age 13, not because he wanted to, but because he had to. He's first-generation immigrants. His parents moved over here. He says this, perhaps the most tragic thing about mankind is that we are all dreaming about some magical garden over the horizon, instead of enjoying the roses that are right outside today. Z, talk to me about, because we're in it right now. You and I, we hustle, we work hard, we've built businesses, we grow them. Why is it so important that you and I and everybody listening that we become thankful for what we have, especially heading into Thanksgiving here, my friend?
Absolutely. It's a perfect month to talk about this super move number 8. And that is, everybody think about all the people you know in the world. Know personally.
Okay.
And the ones that you want to spend time with more times than not are probably happy people.
Yeah.
They have joy inside them. And so many times I see people out there that go, you know what? When I get that thing.
I get the thing.
When I get the thing, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
When I get that, I'm going to have joy in. But until then, I'm going to be working toward that. Okay. And the man or the woman that finds happiness and joy where they are today is so much more pleasant to be around.
I cannot be happy until I have my thing.
The thing.
Once I get my thing, Z, I will be happy. But up until that point, I'm very upset. Obviously, if you could just get me the thing, if I had the plasma, the new one with the carved.
Can I touch it? Just touch the thing. You know,
Mabel,
I
want the carved for Christmas. I want the carved screen. Z, if you and Mabel could get me the carved screen, then I would be happy.
Yes, and I tell you what, folks, happiness and joy inside you draws people to you. And if you're looking, if you're wanting to start your business, if you're wanting to grow your business, if you're wanting to get recognized by your boss, if you want to take the next step in whatever you're doing, having a great attitude and inner joy in you is so necessary for that.
Z, if the kids today would stop getting tattoos on the necks and would stop respecting adults and stop doing Snapchatting, I would be happy.
I would be happy when I get my first tattoo. I mean, the joy. I got to figure out what it is.
Myra, for people listening right now who are struggling to be happy, they're saying someday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's not really what I want to talk about. I want to talk about someday. Someday I'll be happy. What advice would you have?
Be present. Simply be present where you are. And I think for a lot of people, social media has its great points, but people turn it into the comparison game.
Yeah.
I'll be thankful when I can do as great as the other person I'm following on social media.
Oh, boy.
That's not even real.
Preach it.
It's not even real.
Preach it.
So don't do the comparison game. That allows you to be thankful for where you are.
For any ladies who are listening right now, you are a business coach for females specifically. How can they get a hold of Myra Shaw? How can they get a hold of you?
They can find me on the web at myrashaw.com. That's MIARA Shaw.com.
Awesome. And Dr. Z, you and I, we teamed up years ago because we said, you know what? There's so many people asking, can I meet you guys for lunch? I mean, you guys have a successful, Z, you've started a successful optometry clinic. Clay, you've started a photography business. You've started a haircut business. Then you've started this auction, Z. People keep asking, how do you guys do it with all your businesses? Can we meet for lunch? And we eventually said, we can't.
Right.
We're out of time.
Yeah.
We don't have any more time. We have financial freedom, but we don't have time freedom if we meet with every single person who wants help. So you and I teamed up. We started a website called Thrive15.com. Tell the Thrivers about it, Z.
Well, I tell you what, it's business coaching in your pocket. It's unbelievable. There's thousands of videos. And what we've done is we've done the hard work, the heavy lifting for you. We've cased the country, and we've got great mentors, millionaires, success stories. We filmed them, and now we put them in categories. We put them by mentors, and you can literally get get business coached, just like Netflix, for $19 a month. You can binge watch on any topic you want on how to start your business. It's awesome. Thrive15.com, and that's not all.
And with the Thrive15.com experience, you have downloadables, you have interactive workshops, you can call somebody, you can answer your questions. It's Thrive15.com, the world's best business school. Z, 3, 2, 1, boom!
Let's fly.
All right, JT, so hypothetically, in your mind, what is the purpose of having a business?
To get you to your goals. So it's a vehicle to get you to your destination.
Whoa. And would you need profits to get there? I mean, is when you have a business that's successful, in your mind, in your expert opinion, would you need profits to get you to your goals?
Yeah, because if you have a $15 million business, but you have $15 million of expenses, it's kind of pointless.
Holy crap!
All right, so the question I would have here for you, if you could take 10 minutes or less and see if you could save $3,000 a year by reducing your credit card fees, would you do it?
Yes, absolutely.
Holy crap!
Why would somebody out there who's listening right now who has a sane mind, why would they not go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card, thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card to schedule a 10-minute consultation to see if they can reduce their credit card fees by at least $3,000 a year.
Why would they not do it?
Yeah, why would they not do it?
Maybe because they didn't understand how you said the website.
This tree is a symbol of the spirit of the Griswold family Christmas.
No, that's clear. Okay, so that could be true. So I would encourage everybody to check out thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card, thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card. What would be another reason why someone would not be willing to take 10 minutes to compare rates to see if they could save $3,000 or more on credit card fees?
Maybe they think it is a waste of time and that it won't. It's not possible.
There's somebody out there that's making more than $3,000 every 10 minutes, and they're like, nah, that's not worth my time.
We getting there, right money. We getting there, right money.
There's probably someone out there.
Okay.
They would think that.
Well, I'll just tell you, folks, if you're out there today and you're making less than $3,000 per 10 minutes, I would highly recommend that you go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card because you can compare rates, you can save money. And, you know, the big goal, in my opinion, of building a business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And in order to do that, you have to maximize your profits.
Holy crap!
Now, one way to maximize your profits is to increase your revenue. Another way to do it is to decrease your expenses.
It's a profit deal. It takes the pressure off.
JT, is there any other reason why somebody would not be willing to take 10 minutes to compare rates to see if they could save a total of $3,000 a year on average?
I am at a loss, and I cannot think of any other.
Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. Conditioner is better. I leave the hair silky and smooth. Oh, really, fool? Really? Stop looking at me, Swan.
Well, let me tell you a good story here real quick here. I actually, years ago, compared rates with this company here called IPS. It's Integrated Payment Services. And I scheduled a consultation. I don't know that I was skeptical. I just thought, whatever, I'll take 10 minutes. I'll compare rates.
I can't tell.
You can tell me I'm a doctor.
No, I mean, I'm just not sure.
Or can't you take a guess?
Well, not for another 2 hours.
You can't take a guess for another 2 hours?
And in my particular case, I save over $20,000 a year.
Holy crap!
Wow.
Which is, like groceries when my wife goes to the organic stores.
Find everything you need today?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Oh, God. No.
Everything okay, ma'am?
It's just that you've only scanned a few items and it's already $60. I'm so scared.
Okay, I'm a trained professional, ma'am. I've scanned a lot of groceries. I need you to stay with me.
It's just that my in-laws are in town and they want a charcuterie board.
Well, this isn't gonna be easy, so I need you to be brave, all right? What's your name?
Patricia.
Tricia, all right. I need you to take a deep breath. We're about to do the cheese.
You know, that's the difference between eating organic and not organic. So because my wife eats organic, I had to take the 10 minutes needed to compare rates to save the $20,000 a year on credit card fees just for one of my companies.
One question, what's the brand name of the clock? The brand name of the clock, Rod. Do we have
Brand name
it?
of the clock. It's an elegant from Ridgeway. It's from Ridgeway.
Let's
buy the clock
and sell the fireplace.
So I encourage everybody out there, go to thrivetimeshow.com/credit-card. You schedule a free consultation, request information. A member of our team will call you. They'll schedule a free consultation. It should take you 10 minutes or less. And they're going to compare rates and see if they can't save you more than $3,000 a year off of your credit card processing.
You were hoping what?
I wouldn't owe you money at the end of the
No,
day.
you don't owe us money.
Because at the end of the day, the goal of the business is to create time freedom and financial freedom. And in order to do that, you need to create additional profits.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah, so here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months, or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut, and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. That they taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive. Quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal, and they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark. Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you. If we go back 8 years ago, think about the number of clients you had back then versus the number of clients you have now. As a percentage, what has been the growth over the past 8 years, do you think? We got to inspire somebody out there who just doesn't have the time to listen to their calls.
Okay, so Clay, it's like I would go up and down from about $10,000 a month up to about $40,000, but it's up and down roller coaster. And so now we've got it to where we're in excess of 100 clients.
That's awesome.
And so I would have anywhere from 5 clients to 20 clients on my own with networking, but I had no control over it. I didn't, without the systems, you're going to be victimized by your own business.
For somebody out there who struggles with math, if you, let's say that your average number of clients was 30 and you go to 100, as a percentage, what is that?
I have doubled every year since working with you. So I've doubled in clients, I've doubled in revenue every year. It's 100% growth every year I've worked with. Now, so I'm looking, we've been good friends 7-8 years, and I've got doubled 5 times.
Which is just incredible. I mean, the first time you do it, that's one thing, but when you do it repeatedly,
yeah,
I mean, that's unbelievable.
We're working our Blessed Assurance off this year to double. We're planning on doubling again. We're incorporating some new things in there to really help us do it, but we are going to double again this year. I started coaching, but it would go up and down, Clay. That's when I came to you, as I was going up and down, and I wanted to go up and up instead of up and down. And so that's when it needed a system. So creating a system is you have nailed down specific steps that you're going to take no matter how you feel, no matter the results. You lean into them and you do them regardless of what's happening. You lean into them, and it will give you X number of leads. You follow up with those leads, turns into sales. Well, I tell you, it's if you don't have a script and you don't have a system, then every day is a whole new creation. You're creating a lot of energy just to figure out what are you going to do.
Right.
And the best executives, Peter Drucker is a father of modern management. He said the most effective executives make one decision a year. What you do is you make a decision, what is your system, and then you work like the Dickens to make sure you follow that system. And so that's really what it's all about. So with a script here, we have a brand new gal that just came in working for us. She nailed down the script, and she's been nailing down appointments. Usually we try to get one appointment for every 100 calls. We make 200 to 300 calls a day per rep.
Right.
And she's been nailing down 5 and 8 appointments a day.
Somebody out there is having a hard time.
That script.
So she's making how many calls a day?
She's making between 200 and 300 calls a day.
Whoa. And our relationship is weird in that we do. If someone were to buy an Apple computer today, and or let's say you bought a personal computer, a PC, the computer is made by, let's say, Dell, but then the software in the computer would be Microsoft, let's say, or Adobe or whatever that is. So I basically make the systems, and you're like the computer and I'm like the software. It's kind of how I would describe our relationship. Yeah. Tim, I want to ask you this. You and I reconnected. I think it was in the year 2000 and what was it? Maybe 2010. Is that right? 2011, maybe, or no, maybe further down the road. Maybe 2013.
2012.
Okay, so 2012, and at that time I was 5 years removed from the DJ business, and you were how many years removed from tax and accounting software?
It was about 10, 11 years.
We met. How did we re-meet? What was the first interaction? There was some interaction where you and I first connected. I just remember that somehow you and I went to Hideaway Pizza. But do you remember when we first reconnected?
Yeah. Well, we had that speaking thing that.
There it was. So it's Victory Christian Center. I was speaking there.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help, direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses, implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all, but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. How to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. Working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are called to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life. That standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. Whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. He's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. He's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity. People that want to get through life by just doing enough, by just getting by. People who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay. I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months, just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say, come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted.